Long ago, Buddha and his disciples arrived at a peaceful, quiet place surrounded by lush green trees. The cool breeze carried a sense of calm and serenity. Buddha looked at his disciples and said, "Let's rest here for a while." They all sat down under a big tree. After some time, Buddha gently asked, "Do you feel peace here?" All the disciples nodded in agreement. One of them excitedly said, "Yes, Master, I feel so good sitting here. It feels as if all my worries have gone away." With a soft smile, Buddha asked, "Then, what is the cause of suffering?" One disciple, who had been looking troubled for some time, mustered up the courage and said, "Master, I always feel unhappy. Sometimes it's the worry of work, sometimes it's the confusion in relationships. I came to you for relief from suffering, but I still don't understand what suffering truly is." Buddha looked at him and said, "Today, I'll tell you a story to help you understand the cause of suffering. Listen carefully. Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant who often traveled to distant towns for his business. During one of his trips, he visited a bustling marketplace and spotted a beautiful, rare, and expensive decorative item. The merchant liked it so much that he bought it without a second thought, feeling thrilled as he returned to his town. Upon reaching home, he called his loyal servant, who had served him with dedication for many years. Showing the servant the decorative item, the merchant said, "Look, this is a very valuable and rare item. Take good care of it. Under no circumstances should it be broken." The servant assured him, "Master, don't worry. I will take very good care of it." A few days later, while the merchant was away for some work, the servant was cleaning the house. By mistake, his hand brushed against the decorative item and it fell off the table, shattering into pieces. The servant was frightened. His face showed clear signs of panic. When the merchant returned home and saw the broken pieces, his anger rose to the skies. But he held back because he knew the servant had always been loyal to him. The merchant kept his anger inside, but that night he couldn't sleep. His mind kept returning to the shattered, expensive item, and he felt his anger growing. The next morning, the merchant came up with an idea. He called the servant and, in a calm tone, asked, "Do you know for whom I brought that expensive item?" The servant, slightly surprised, asked, "No, master. For whom?" Taking a deep breath, the merchant replied, "I bought it for you. You have been with me for so many years, but I never gave you any gift. I thought you would keep this beautiful item in your home and feel happy looking at it, but now it is broken." Hearing this, the servant felt his heart sink. He was in shock. He deeply regretted his mistake, thinking how his small carelessness had shattered a moment of happiness. His eyes filled with remorse, and he bowed his head in shame. After narrating the story, Buddha looked at his disciples and asked, "So, what did you understand from this story?" The disciple, who wanted to understand suffering, said, "Master, I am still not sure what the cause of suffering is in this story." Buddha smiled and said, "Suffering is a thought. Suffering arises when we attach ourselves to things, relationships, or situations and consider them permanent." The merchant was distressed as long as he associated the item with himself. But the moment he associated the item with the servant, it was the servant who became unhappy. Buddha explained, "In this life, everything is temporary: objects, relationships, even our joys and sorrows. The day you realize that everything changes, your suffering will also change. Only your soul is permanent. Everything else is temporary. Listening to Buddha's words, the disciples fell into deep thought. They realized that the cause of suffering was not external, but lay within their own thoughts and expectations. Everything they possessed was temporary, and within that understanding lay true peace. This story teaches us that as long as we don't understand the truth, that nothing in life is permanent, we will continue to suffer. The moment we accept this truth of impermanence, true peace enters our lives. Friends, if you learned something from this video, do let us know in the comments. And for more such videos, subscribe the channel. So let's meet in the next video with another story. Until then, stay happy and keep smiling. Thank you